Hey, what is going on, Leos? Butch Tarot here. I am going to do your 1 week read. It is a general read, so it may not resonate with everyone. It is for your sun, moon, rising, and your Venus. For all you cross watchers, roles can be reversed. I get this question a lot. I'll give you the quick answer. People ask me all the time, what and how do I find out what my moon, rising, and Venus is? Best thing I can suggest is look up a natal chart calculator, NATAL. Just Google it. I believe they're all free, but if you find one that's asking you for money, keep looking, because there's some really good ones out there and they're free. It'll give you an in-depth look into all your houses. It'll tell you what your moon, rising, and Venus are. Just be forewarned, the first time I did one was a long time ago now, but I wasn't expecting what I found. It really blew my mind how much it told me about myself. So if you're going in, wear a helmet. Anyway, that's that. With all that being said, let's get it. Universe, what message do we have for Leos? What can we see for Leos? So Leo's, the first thing that, the overall energy I'm getting right off the hop is I feel like something has come to an end. For some of you, this is something really recent, and for others, this is something that you're still working through, but it's already ended. We start off with the Tower, so I feel like there's some chaotic energy. This is from a past person, and I feel like this person, without better choice of words, I feel like this person screwed you over. And I feel like it wasn't the first time. And, I feel like with this person, you really fought for it. You put in the effort, you put in the work. That's just because Leos are that way. One of the greatest things about Leo, I'm a Leo rising. And one of the greatest things about Leos is their loyalty. But with any great trait, in the wrong hands can be the wrong thing. And what I mean by that is sometimes we're loyal to a fault, or we're loyal to the wrong people that don't deserve it. And I feel like you fought for that. You fought for it, you put in the work, and I feel like it was just you putting in the work. I feel like you didn't see what was happening right in front of you because you didn't want to see it. And I feel like with this person, I feel like you gave them chance after chance, and finally they just screwed you over to a point where you couldn't ignore it anymore. I feel like there was a lack of trust with this person. And I feel like it got to a point where it was overwhelming. Then we have the Death card. The Death card can be the death of something, but also representation of the beginning of something else. With the death card, it's the end of one, beginning of something else. And I feel like that's exactly what happened here. I feel like you were ready for that person. You were looking for someone that you could spend your life with, and I mean, honestly, I feel like you tried to make this person the one because you thought, since you're ready. I mean, when you get to a place in your life where you're ready to settle down, and you're ready to find that person, you're ready to have someone to share your life with. And sometimes we give our loyalty to people that don't earn it or don't deserve it. And it's, I feel like sometimes we get to a place where we're ready in life, and sometimes by proximity, the person next to us, we assume that that's the person. But what I see moving forward is I see someone else. And I feel like there's this random encounter with this new person. But something very different happens with this new person. I feel like this, right away we have this open communication. I feel like this person, just from the moment you met them, you saw the potential. You see something in this person that you've been waiting to see. Sometimes we don't know the big picture. We don't know why things happen. But there's always a reason. And I feel like why this past relationship ended and why it had to end the way it did, sometimes we need to see someone for the worst that they can possibly be in order to really understand who they were. And what you've been manifesting is the reason why it ended. You've been manifesting that partner, that's someone to share your life with. And in that manifestation, you had no more use for that past person because they weren't it. Now, even though this new person is like I said, it's very random encounter, but it's not that random. It may seem that way, but I feel like there's a reason why you met this person. Like I said, open communication with this person. I feel like this person communicates with you and they don't hold back. There's something very different with this person. I feel like this person is very honest, and I feel like you can feel that in them. Someone that you can trust, and even though it's new and it's fresh, there's just that instant connection with this person. And what seems to be very random becomes very clear very quickly that it wasn't random at all. It's what you've been asking for. I remember this quote. I love quotes. I read a lot. This one quote is, if you're not going to be honest and loyal, then there's no point in falling in love with a Leo. I always love that. Like I said, with my Leo rising, that's important to me. It's one of the most important things to me is loyalty and honesty. If we can be honest and loyal, there's nothing that we can't do. If you can be honest with someone, like completely honest, the good, the bad, the ugly, and you give them loyalty, and you're reliable, and you show up for them, and you love them with everything you have, what can go wrong? Nothing. That's the problem with a lot of relationships. People aren't loyal, or they're not completely honest. They act like they are, but at the end of the day, you can't fool the heart. Not forever, you can't. Now, with this person, this is someone that is emotionally available, someone that's emotionally mature. And there's a very protective energy with this person as well. Like, with that Emperor, that Aries energy. As much as you've been looking for that right person, they've been looking too. And that's why I said this is not a chance encounter. It may seem random, but there's nothing random about this. You were meant to meet this person. You were meant to meet them now. You know, like I said, with that Page of Wands, you both see the potential here. You know, I feel some... People always think it's going to be perfect. I don't see this as perfect. I think it's perfect for you and perfect for them, but it's not perfect. You know, I see there's going to be some challenges. I feel like there's going to be some arguments. I feel like, but it's all the love. Again, I love my quotes. Another quote that I read one time was, "Don't worry when a Leo argues with you. Be concerned when they stop, because they realize there's nothing worth fighting for." You know, and that's what I see here. I feel like the two of you, both knowing what you want and both getting it. You know, so what seemed to be a chance encounter becomes something much more very quickly. It's what you've been manifesting. It's what they've been manifesting. You know, you finally found each other. The Two of Wands, you both knew what you wanted, and you're both willing to put in the work. Being loyal to someone some days feels like work. You know, being loyal to something and being honest, it can be work, but if you're not, what I mean by that, if you're not willing to put in the work, then what are you doing there? You're wasting each other's time. A real relationship is something that there's going to be hard days. You know, and if you can't get through them, how can you expect to spend the rest of your life with someone? You know, this is what you've both been waiting for. Like I said, I feel like you both challenge each other. I feel like you inspire each other, and that's the thing. It's not just about the challenges. You know, when you're with someone and you have someone next to you, you want that person to challenge you sometimes. You want that person to be honest with you, and sometimes it's brutally honest, and sometimes it's not something you want to hear. But at least you know you're getting the truth from them. You know, and I feel like you make each other better that way. You know, I mean, we have the Lover's card and the Ace of Cups. That's new love. And the Lover's card is that deep connection. You know, I feel like with this is your forever person. You know, this is someone that's going to be loyal to you to the end. Your ride or die. You're you against the world type person. You and them. And as long as you have them beside you and they have you beside them, there's nothing that you can't do together. There's nothing that you can't overcome. And I feel like that's a lot of what's happening, the happiness in this connection. I mean, filling up your cups. You know, someone that it's not just how they talk to you and talk about you, it's how they see you. And this person sees you. It's how they look at you. You know, it's like I said, it's not just about how they talk to you, it's about how they talk about you. You know, this is someone that that's gonna brag about you, that's gonna want to show you off, and they're gonna want you to show them off. You know, because you make each other happy. You know, and you have a connection with this person. It's a lifelong connection. Like I said, the reason sometimes people, I mean, if you think of love, a love story, in any love story, TV, book, any love story out there that you've ever watched or read, there's always people that play a role, but they weren't the main character. And I feel like that past person played their role, but they weren't a main character. And that's the thing with life, is sometimes we meet people that we learn things from, or, you know, whether it be a good lesson or a bad lesson, we learn things from other people. And I feel like it's a necessary process to get to where we're going. In order to know what we want, we got to see what we don't and what we do want. And then we make the decision of what it is that we need in our life and what we're missing. And sometimes we meet someone that brings us something that we didn't even know we were missing until they showed up. This encounter was anything but random. And I feel like as we move forward, we're going to start seeing the big picture. You know, sometimes I feel like life is like you get these pieces of a puzzle, and once in a while you get more pieces and more pieces, and until you meet the right person, you don't have all the pieces. But when you meet the right person, you have all the pieces, and then you can put them together and see the big picture. I mean, I don't feel like we'll ever truly know everything of why anything happens. But like I said, I feel like you were destined to meet this person, and I feel like this is what you've been waiting for. And the reason why that other person didn't make it, because they weren't meant to make it. You were meant to meet this person. And I feel like that's going to be very clear very early on. And like I said, it's not that you're not going to have trials and tribulations with this person, but you have someone that's there with you to go through it with. You know, sometimes when you're with the wrong person and you go through the shit and you don't have that person that got your back, I mean, it's a hard struggle. But having someone that has your back, even on the, you know, the good, the bad, the ugly, that's the difference. And that's what I see with this person. This is someone that's got you. And you got them. You know, showing up, putting in the work, knowing what they want. Very protective of this connection with you. You know, like I said, a lot of this is, I keep seeing eyes, and I feel like it's very important to recognize when you first meet this person, it's how they look at you. It's how you feel when they look at you. You know, it's like that. It's like complimenting you with your eyes. You know when someone looks at you and they look at you in a way that you've never been looked at that way, and it makes you feel good inside? That's the type of look. You know, we all know that look when people judge us, or the people that, you know, don't take us seriously, but this is different than that. And you're going to recognize it. And you'll know this is exactly who we've been talking about here. Now with this person, we have Aries. Excuse me. You know, we have Aries. We have a lot of Aries, actually. Some Sagittarius as well. Some Leo. We got Pisces, Scorpio, Gemini, some Cancer. Feeling some Aquarius too as well. You know, that's a theory that I've come up on my own, is like life is, you know, all life is like a book, and love is like a love story. I mean, if you think about some of the biggest love stories in my generation, you know, you think about movies like The Notebook. You know, there was another guy that she met, and she, you know, he cared about her and wanted to marry her, but that wasn't the one. Now, in that case, he wasn't a bad guy. He didn't, you know, when I watch the movie, you kind of feel bad for that guy, but at the end of the day, he wasn't the one. He wasn't made to be the main character. You know, and when you look at all different stories, I mean, that was just one example, but I mean, if you look at all these different stories, these love stories, and I'm a hopeless romantic. Most of you already know that. I love love. You know, I want people to find that one that changes it all. But like I said, we all have our, I mean, they're supporting cast, but they're not the headliners. I mean, it's one of those things in life is, you know, like I'm a firm believer of the three loves. You know, that first love, that puppy love, that second love. You know, the puppy love is kind of like your introduction to love. You know, that first person you cared about, but you're not mature enough at that point, or most people aren't mature enough at that point to completely understand it. But it's an introduction. And then there's that second love. The second love is usually pretty toxic. You know, and you learn a lot from it. You learn what you don't want. Learn what you do want. And that one hurts like hell. There's that third love, and that third love is something that most people don't even see it coming. You don't realize it till you're in it. But that's the one. You know, the one love to rule them all. Now, it's not to say, you know, some people can love 10 people in their life, and that's their life. I'm just saying there's three main loves, and usually the third one catches you off guard. But like I said, I feel like you've been manifesting this, and I feel like, you know, sometimes when we manifest something, it's not always the way we pictured it. You know, sometimes we think that we're ready for something, and, you know, and it's like me, I thought I would do something while I was young. I always thought I was going to be a doctor, you know, because I love watching medical shows when I was young. You know, I was very interested in that. I worked at a veterinary clinic for a while. Not to say that has really much to do with it. I just seen a lot, and I always thought I was going to be a doctor. You know, so I was manifesting that. I was manifesting finding what I was meant to do. And as in such, sometimes when you manifest things, you get what you're looking for, but it may not be what you thought it was going to be. You know, I got into tarot 4 or 5 years ago now, like doing it on YouTube. I've been into tarot for probably quite a bit longer than that, but I love it. You know, I love reading emails. I love reading comments. I love getting messages from people. I love communicating with people. I'm happy where I'm at. You know, and that's the thing with life. Sometimes when you ask a broad question, you get a broad answer. And what I thought I wanted, I mean, as I got older, I realized that being a doctor was not something I wanted, because I have a tendency of taking things very personal, getting very emotionally involved in things. And that's, my uncle's a doctor, and that's one of the things that is not a good quality for a doctor. You know, because there's some bad things that happen, and things that I don't even know if I could live with. You know, if I ever made a mistake, or if somebody didn't make it because of me, or they didn't make it because of whatever, something I couldn't fix. You know, I take that way too personally. So I realized in time what I wanted, what I thought I wanted, wasn't what I needed. Anyway, I'm talking forever here. Be good. Take care. Stay safe.